Good afternoon, my name is Dave and I'm here with you today. I'm at the bee yard. I'm recovering from a knee replacement as well as arthroscopic surgery on the other knee, and I have not been in my bees now for 6 weeks, and that's not really necessarily a good thing. We're here at a clearing in the woods. As you can see, we're going to go all the way around. You don't need to, well, I guess you can see my old pickup. There's the beehives right back there. There's only a couple here. And we are, so I had knee replacement on my left side 6.5 weeks ago and had a arthroscopic surgery done on my right knee 2.5 weeks ago. Right before that first surgery 6.5 weeks ago, and I was in a lot of pain because I had torn up the cartilage and the meniscus and everything on the inside of my left knee, taking a fall. But I managed to get all my honey off. We got our honey processed. It wasn't the prettiest, it wasn't the most successful. I had actually filmed it at the time and the video was just so bad that that I never posted it. It was just a mess, and I was a mess. So I got a big scar on my left knee now. We're feeling better. I'm getting some strength back, so I'm going to count this as physical therapy, lifting these bee boxes. So I've got 2 hives here just outside view. Both of them, one of them looks really good. The other one has a ton of dead bees out in front of it, and I'll show you that in a second. So we're going to open these hives up. I'm going to check inside, and we're going to see how they're doing for stored pollen, stored honey for the winter, as well as check for those mites. And everybody's going to get at least 1 round of mite treatments, and then we'll see from there before it gets too cold whether we need to do 2, as well as checking on those resources, how much feeding we really need to start pumping into them. So let's get busy. Here you can see, before I open the hive, there's been a number of bees dragged out, the dead bees. Undertaker bees take care of that. They drag the bees out. They can fly away with them, but there has been a huge amount of bees that, I don't know if you can really see this. All that darkness is bees. There's not a lot of activity around this hive, so I'm not sure what's going on, but that's not a good thing. We'll have to get in here first and see. So let's get busy with it. All right, so we're at the hive that I said I'm concerned about. We're going to look at that one first. You are basically standing behind the hive looking straight down into it. So I did give them a little bit of smoke earlier, but I'm really worried about the lack of activity around this hive. We could have lost a queen for some reason. Mites could have been severe, or they may be out of food. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, not having been here and recovering from surgery has really messed me up, set me back. This is actually my first year of selling honey, and I really want to get busier, or at least kind of officially selling honey. And the thing I want to do is get busier, and the way you get busy is keeping your hives through the winter. And keeping the hives through the winter basically means that you're doing all the things you need to do right now, because everything we do right now is what's going to be useful in the winter. That box, that's a open super. Left it on there because it's got holes on the front for you know, to access, and I'm very concerned. There is no honey in that at all. A lot of dead bees. See that? A lot of dead bees. I'm very concerned here. I don't know if this hive will make it or not through the winter. In fact, as I'm looking at it, it would appear this hive is already dead. These bees that you see, I was worried about that. So something happened when I couldn't get down here and we've lost this hive. So I see wax moth frames in there. I see all sorts of stuff that is not good. And what it means is that these bees that you see are actually robbing what's left of the hive. So what we're going to do here, we're going to pull this frame out. See this right up here? This like spidery web kind of crap. This is wax moths. Wax moths will lay their eggs in the hive if the bees aren't able to protect it. The eggs hatch. It's a white caterpillar looking thing that hatches out, and the caterpillar will just terrorize. It'll eat every bit of the wax off these hives. These would not be present in a healthy hive. There's some more on a different frame. More on the other side. So that's it. So this hive, at some point between mid-August and now, has perished. I'm gonna go ahead and take this top brood box off just to be sure. But yes, as we can see, and apparently it's been long enough that those wax moths, it's been long enough that those wax moths really got in there and did a number. This hive is stripped of resources, so I'm guessing that means that the hive that we're going to look at next got them all. And yeah, frames are completely empty. So I can't say for sure what happened here. Obviously I'm very disappointed. This was a strong hive. It's been a good hive, actually. But that's part of beekeeping. We're gonna take, what we'll do is probably pull this hive. I'm gonna take this hive apart and we'll take it back and not leave it out here all winter. And so we've got one other hive over there. That one has a preponderance of bees out in front of it, so we're going to check on that. So I'm going to move you over there and we'll go from there. Hey, this is Dave with just a reminder. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy what you see on my channel. I would really appreciate it. It would help me, it helps the channel, as well as to get the videos out to other people just like you who may find us enjoyable. I appreciate it, and thank you very much. All right, same deal. You're looking down into the hive. We're at the second hive in this location. Unfortunately, that first hive didn't make it. It's hard this time of year, any beekeeper will tell you, to be out of commission for 6 weeks. It's not a good time. There's a lot of things that need to be done for the bees. Primarily, certainly foremost, is feeding and treating for mites and treating for disease. So we're doing a little better with this one. You can see that. I hope you can. Let me peek down here. I think you can see that, can't you? Yeah. Okay. So, one of the first things you do is you have to box. You have the front. You see what I'm doing? I'm kind of on the back here. I'm just picking it up, just a hair, just to see how these girls are doing. This thing is full of honey. So we're packed full of honey. We've got a super still on top here because it's got an upper entrance on it. I'm going to leave that probably for a few more weeks at least. I want to, this visit is all about just checking the health of the hive. So we have a good one here. I guess I'm standing in casting shadow, aren't I? Even though I'm going to leave that honey super on, I doubt I'll pull any more honey this year. So I am going to take the queen excluder off. So if she gets up in that super and lays some eggs, good for her. That'll be a few more bees that they'll have to get through the winter. So I'm just going to grab a frame here just to take a peek. Oh my goodness, that's a heavy frame. Okay, so we've got a resource frame here. Hopefully you can see that it's upside down, but that's pure solid honey, the whole frame. And when we look on the other side, same thing, pure solid honey. I guess I didn't check to see if the queen's on here. I should have done that first. Definitely seeing some what's called K-wing. K-wing is a sign of mites. A bee normally, yeah, there's no queen on there. Okay, so I was talking about K-wing, and apparently the camera turned off, so that was not good. I still wanted to show you the demonstration that I was doing, just so you understand how I can look in a hive and immediately, fairly quickly assess the severity of mites. And these really, they're not looking bad at all. So let's try this again. So if you picture my finger as a bee, like that, okay, and these are the wings. So the head of the bee is up here, the tail is here. The wings sit like this. So when let me get you straight, yeah. So when a bee is normally sitting at rest, she holds her wings tight against her body. The mites that carry the viruses, that carry the disease that kills the bees, will burrow in. There's a soft spot on each side, right where the wing muscle kind of meets the bee's body. And what will happen is they'll burrow in there and physically irritate the bee. And so the bee will hold her, when she's walking around, instead hold her wings out wide like this, as opposed to close to her body. They call that K-wing. And what happens is when you start seeing a lot of bees with that K-wing, hopefully you can see, it's so bright that my camera never shows up. The K-wing, you're like, okay, well, that bee's got mites. Close together, most likely not an issue. So, I had I pulled 2 frames. One that I know you probably saw, the other one you may not have, I don't know. But we're going to pull one here in the first box, in the bottom box. So this is where I would expect the queen to be. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Go on. I know, I'm trying to be gentle. My goodness. Come on, give me a break. Okay, so I just rolled a lot of bees. They don't like that. All right. So this frame I happened to pull out really doesn't have much in the way of resources. Got some honey right up here in the corner where my thumb is, and a little bit over on this other side. But other than that, there's really not much going on. Comb is pulled out. It could have eggs laid in it. It could have, it could be packed with forage, with honey. Same deal on the other side. A little bit of honey on each side. Most likely this frame held eggs before, and when that happens, the bees make sort of a rainbow, but not always a perfect rainbow. But they put resources around the edges, and then the inner part gets the eggs. So I don't see a queen on there. We are gonna do that, and I'm gonna check one more here. I really don't have any fear that there is no queen. Oops, get out of here. With this many bees here, especially this late in the season, if she had died, unless she just died off, we would be looking at a lot fewer bees, but we're not. Okay, so again, looks like the same deal. Resources around the edge. Looks like they're filling in. Let me make sure the queen's not on here 1 second, and then I'll show you. I don't see her. Do you see her? I don't see her. There's a bee with pollen. See that yellow right there? She loaded up with pollen. This time of year, that's 100% guaranteed to be goldenrod pollen. Goldenrod actually makes a nice honey, but when it's in the box, when you get a lot of it in the box while it's still curing, man, it does smell like wet gym socks. I can't explain it. Miracles of nature, I guess. Okay, so here's the same frame. See all those different colors? That's where they've filled it with different pollens, different all through the season, and all sorts of different things. If you can see right up in here, you might be able to see a glistening. If I do this, that glistening is where they're refilling it right now with nectar from fall flowers, so that they can cure that into honey before it gets cold. So if you can see that, it's kind of going right around here, this lighter colored comb. This comb is still empty. She could come along and put some eggs in it. They certainly don't lay eggs. They lay eggs based on the amount of eggs laid. Let's get this out right. Is really based on the amount of daylight. So it's October. We're getting into shorter days, but she still will lay eggs. She still will be doing that. Again, wow. There's another empty frame, but they are filling it with forage. Once again, we've got the glistening nectar up here. I was hoping to find a little bit, at least a little bit of brood. We got a section here where they did not draw the comb out. Looks like actually the frame kind of got warped, so they might not be able to. Again, I see no queen, so we're going to go ahead and shake them also, because I see this next frame does have a little bit of brood on it. We're going to probably do this one, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the treatment pads on, and we will close this hive back up, and that's going to be the end of it. Yeah, so okay. So we got a scattering of brood here, so she has been doing something in the last couple weeks. It's covered, so basically what we know is it's more than 3 or 4 days old, but less than 3 weeks old. Assuming that brood is still viable. Whoa. Somebody got in there and stung me on the hand through the glove. This side also, again, no resources, but there is a smattering of covered brood, capped brood. You see another girl over here with the goldenrod nectar or pollen. She just took off. And you want to see one more frame? I was hoping I'd have some frames here in the bottom that were, you know, had quite a bit of brood on them. Oh, here's a heavy one. Okay, what is it though? Oh, it's resources. Okay, so good. Here's another frame of honey, capped honey. Yeah, they're good to go on honey. This is there's another frame. That's a better, when I was talking before that they make a rainbow around eggs of resources. So you see that honey kind of goes right around the top. The eggs have hatched out since, and now it looks like they'll be filling the center in with more nectar for honey. So on and on it goes. Okay, so we're going to put that one back right where it was. Go on, girls. Go on. If you sting me, you die. I really don't want that. And so neither one of us really want that, right? Another scattering of brood. Again, no resources on the frame leaves me to wonder whether that brood's even viable still, but it could hatch out. The bees that start hatching out in the winter, they're a heavier, fatter almost, different kind of bee. Picture them as a heavyweight rather than a welterweight. And what happens is those heavier, they're stronger and more durable, and they will actually last all through the winter. I'm going to turn that frame around so that a little bit of resources is facing the brood. They're getting annoyed. Alright, let me run right over here to the truck. You won't even know I'm gone. In fact, this part might even be edited out. But I got to get the pads for the mite treatment. Okay, so here we go. And these are the pads. Used them before. Extremely strong smelling. It doesn't recommend it. It actually recommends you close the hive off. This late in the season, I don't want any issues with losing a queen. I have lost a queen once or twice with this over several years. Not critical, but don't like to do it. What we do is one pad gets laid across here, and then go on, I don't want to lay it on top of you. And then another one gets laid there. That aroma comes up. It will actually infuse into any brood that's in the box left. It also will cause the mites that are currently on the bees to dislodge and fall to the bottom, where hopefully they will be less of an issue. So the bees are now mad, so we're going to put the box together and we're going to wrap this up. Okay, there's one, and here's another. Ooh. Let's give them a shot so we don't crush a bunch of them. Yeah, they don't like it, but it helps keep them from getting crushed. So we're gonna slide that box back on. I didn't adjust the camera. You're probably right up on it. But that's okay, because we are done. Just gotta... Okay. All right, so disappointed that the one hive didn't make it. Really don't know. There's a lot of dead bees in the bottom. It's hard to say. And like I said, without having been here and seen whether maybe they got robbed out or by the other hive or what exactly was happening, I don't have an answer. So the other hive that is here is doing quite well. From what I saw, so I didn't do an actual mite count where you go through basically doing an alcohol wash of bees, you put them in a cup, and then you count the actual mites. It didn't do that. We're going to assume that it's October in Maryland and the bees need a treatment. So they're going to get a treatment. We're going to take a look at them in 2 weeks, and then otherwise the boxes will be sealed up. And then depending on what the needs are in 2 weeks, that's it'll be the 3rd or 4th week of October. We still have plenty of time to do another 2-week treatment if needed. And in the meantime, this hive doesn't need feeding. I may still bring it some anyway, just in case, bring it like a 5-gallon bucket or so. This time of year, we try to make the syrup as thick as possible. Thinner syrup, for example, 1-to-1 parts sugar and water, are not as good as the temperatures cool off, because it's more water for the bees to have to dehydrate before they get to the honey. So we use a stronger one, 1.5, or even sometimes, if I can manage it, 2 parts sugar to 1 part water, and that allows the bees to bring the food back into the hive and have far less work to do as far as dehydrating and getting it ready for winter. So that's it. think that's more than enough. As I said earlier, if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Helps me, helps the channel, of course, and it helps get us out to other people who may be interested in the same things as you. So you all have a blessed day. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you on the next video.